All right, there we go. All right, now screen share to desktop. All right, so here's the Restream Studio dashboard. Basically, these are all the social outlets that it'll stream to once you go live. The most important thing on this screen, and I tell everybody this, and everybody's done it, they've all made this mistake, including myself. If you do not go in here and update your title and your description before your show, whatever the last show is, that's what will be tweeted out and what your show will be called. It's very annoying because if you don't do it and you realize it after the fact, you basically have to run your whole show with the wrong title and all that stuff. It's a pain in the ass. So first thing you always want to do, go in here, hit update titles. And that's going to bring up this little screen here. Change your title here, add your description here, obviously. Hit update all, and it'll update all the places that it goes to. And then when it sends out the tweet, it'll send out the tweet with the title and all that stuff. So it'll actually make sense, and you can retweet it and all that stuff to get people to come watch the show. So once you've done that part, over here in the corner is the enter live studio button. So you just click on that. And it's going to ask me in a minute here if I want to allow, so obviously allow them to use your microphone and your camera. And this is what the dashboard looks like. Now, the Speak On It guys got fancy. They have their own like branded profile, and you can create one over here on the side. There's a little branded profile. So it has their background already. They like to have the chat here on the side. But obviously you can do whatever you want and create your own branded style, how you like it laid out. Over here on the right-hand side are the different graphics you can use. You can change the color of the theme. They go with this purple color because of their logo's kind of got purple in it. If you want to add, I'll add your show art, but you can drop those in there in the corner if you want to put your show art in there once we have it all finalized. So that's the logos there. Overlays, I haven't added those. That's actually new. Obviously an overlay, if you get an overlay, it's sort of like an overlay over your screen, basically. You can make it look kind of cool. I haven't messed with that at all yet. Video clips, we only have 2 right now. I have my show intro, and then the fancy cheat sheet did their own little intro. If you want to get a video intro, you can definitely upload it there. So if you want to have like a 30-second countdown with, whatever, you can do that. I actually planned on doing it last year, but the guy that I had doing it kind of fell through. But I plan on getting just a generic one for going for 2 live. And then if you don't have your own intro for your show, then we can just throw the generic one on there, because that way when you go to the podcast, it's much easier to upload it. But that's a little bit more advanced. Background, obviously they have their show art as their background, but you can add a background. You can use the ones that we have here if you want. So there's that. Captions, if you have any preloaded things that you want to put on your show, like they have like top 5 dynasty running backs, that's going to be their show topic. They can throw that up on the screen. So these are all preloaded that you can put in there before you go live. And then the chat window is here. This should get messages from all the social media, Twitter, YouTube, all of them. I will say Twitter right now actually does not work, because Twitter went away from Periscope and went to Twitter Live. And since they did that, the Twitter messages are not coming through. I'm being told from Twitter that they're working on it, but as of yet, right now, you can't get Twitter messages to come to your little dashboard here. Now, if you wanted to have Twitter comments, I suggest having your phone with the show on. Then you can see the comments on your phone if you want to interact. What I usually do is just tell my people up front, if you're on Twitter and you want to talk to us, go find us on YouTube. That's the easiest one to use. So the chat is here. You can turn the chat off like the way the guys have it. Any comments will show up here in this little dark sort of box. But if you turn off the chat overlay, you can go full screen. Obviously, when you have more than one person on there, you've got different options of how you want to lay it out. It's not going to change for me because I only have one screen up. But if you have multiple people on, then you can use these different formats here to lay them out. At the bottom right here, only thing really is important down here is the invite guest option. So this is where if you're going to have a guest on, you share this link with your guest. They can just enter that link into any browser. It'll bring them into the studio. Once they're in the studio, they'll show up over here on the sidebar. and they'll be grayed out to start, and then you can just literally hit this little button right here, and it turns them on. So you can, as the show goes on, if you want to turn people off, you can do that. Once they're on screen, you can actually drag and drop windows around. So if you want to have yourself in the top left, and whatever, you can drag them and move them around. That's pretty much it for the studio. It's pretty straightforward. Do you have any questions on any of this so far?
So, like me and Jordan are hosting a show together. One of us logs in, the other one is a guest, or both of us would log in.
Actually, that's a good question because they just changed it. They have a new feature, and I don't think anybody uses it yet. But before, yes, before one of you would be the main host and the other one would be the guest. That they now allow it to have dual hosts, so you both could log in this way. And what that gives you an advantage of, if one of you want to be the controlling of captions, like if you're going to be doing titles and you want to do captions, one of you can control that. Why, the other person is kind of hosting the show. That kind of helps sort of share the duties as the podcast is going on. So that's something that you can definitely do. You both could just log in here and have access to all this stuff.
It's really similar to StreamYard.
Yeah, I've heard that. I haven't used StreamYard, at least not on the backside. I've been on shows that have StreamYard, and it seems very similar. It's a
Very
little bit
similar.
It's a little bit newer. I've had Restream now for probably 5 years, but they originally were just used to restream your content to all your social media. They didn't have a live studio. The live studio is probably only about a year and a half old. They've done some massive upgrades because originally it was just basically video. You didn't have any chat, you didn't have any graphics. It was just like hit live, go live to all the platforms. So they've definitely upgraded quite a bit. You also have a private chat over here. So if you want something that you want to tell one of your guests or your co-host that you don't want to show up on the podcast, you can use the private chat over here as well. Any other questions on this? Pretty straightforward, right?
Yeah.
Like I said, the most important thing really is to make sure you don't mess up the title. Do the title and descriptions. I guarantee it'll happen at least once. Like I said, I've done it, and it pisses me off every time, especially when I get home from work on Fridays. I forget to go in there and update my title, and I hit start, and I was like, damn it, forgot to do that. All right, so that's basically the first part. That's the most important part. If you can get that part down, everything else is something that I can take care of if y'all can't figure it out. This part is going to be after your show is done. If you want to upload it to the audio podcast, all of the streams are saved here under video storage, this little cloud icon over here. So you go under recordings. Uploads is videos you can upload that are offline. If you want to upload them, you can do that. But under recordings, these are all of our recent shows. It saves it, I think, for 14 days, maybe. It'll keep the show in here. So once you do your show, it'll show up on here. If you click on these little 3 dots in the corner and click on download, you have 3 options: download the full video, download the full audio, or get split audio tracks, which is if you want to get fancy and you want to edit just one person's stream, you can do that, but no one does that. Full audio is what I download. So you click on the full audio. It takes about 5 to 10 minutes, depending how long the stream was. So once you've downloaded it, unfortunately for us, go to my downloads. I already downloaded one earlier. It comes in as an M4A file, and unfortunately, most podcast services do not recognize that format. So we have to first convert it into MP3, which is the big pain in the ass. When they first did this, I was excited and I was uploading the M4A, and I couldn't figure out why my podcasts weren't showing up. It's because most podcasts, the only one that recognizes it is Apple. iTunes recognizes it, but the rest of them, Spotify, all those won't even put your thing up on there. So we have to convert it. So I don't know how familiar y'all are with audio software, but I use GarageBand. Basically, I've already done it. I dropped the M4A file into GarageBand, and then once you've dropped it in there, you just go to Share, Export Song to Disk. Make sure you do MP3. Obviously, name it whatever you want to name it. I've already done it, so I'm not going to show you, but basically it's pretty straightforward. Just converting it to MP3 is what you want to do. If you don't have a Mac, there is a free software called Audacity, I think is what it's called. It's free. It does the same thing. It converts it to MP3. So if you got a PC, I can show you where to download that. So once you have the audio, we're going to go back to here, and Podbean is our podcast service. So this is what the dashboard looks like when you log in. Pretty simple. You just go to episodes, go to episode list, and then over here in the right, new episode. It's going to ask you to upload the file, and I've already put it in here. So this is test. This is the test file here. We'll go ahead and upload. Well, it tells me that these characters aren't allowed, but it'll still upload it. All right, so you can see right up at the top, it's now uploading it. And why it's doing that, you can actually go ahead and put your title. The easiest way that I do it, because usually when I'm trying to post it, I want to go to bed. So what I do is I actually open up Restream, and I go back to the main screen where I already put my title in my description. If you click on the Facebook one, this little gear icon right here, click on that, click edit settings. It'll actually bring up your title and description. And I just basically copy paste it exactly as it is from here right over to here. Save some time. And there. All right, so then your description's there, your title's there. You can see it's done uploading. Over here on the side, there's the album art. I will put both of yours in there once we have yours, Bo. I know we already have the one for Bet on it, but we got to do one for Bo's. All your album art is here, so you would just go through, pick your album art, and then usually I do 3 tags. So if you're doing DraftKings, click on DraftKings. You're clicking on FanDuel, whatever it is you're doing. I don't know if I have gambling or betting or sportsbook on here yet, so we can add those for your show, Jerry and Jordan. And then once you've done that, click Publish Now, and that's it. It goes as soon as you hit publish, it'll go out. It automatically sends it out to Twitter. It does take a little while, so if you share it, like say you publish it at like 10 o'clock at night or whatever, iTunes has a cache or a cache, however you say it, and it won't show up right away. So if you try to share it right away for iTunes, it won't show up for anybody. You got to wait probably to the next morning it'll show up. So I always post mine at night so that by the time the morning rolls around, I can then share it and everyone can get on iTunes and listen to it. Any questions on that part?
No, seems pretty easy.
Are y'all pretty tech savvy?
We've
Depends on your definition.
the Restream stuff, we've used a program that was kind of similar to that too, so that's all like not too much new. And then this is just looks like the same as uploading to YouTube or something, so we've done that before too.
Cool. And then I don't know if y'all are familiar with any of the audio programs. Like I said, if you need to get Audacity for PC, I can give you the link for that. GarageBand just works easy for me for my Mac, so I don't know what y'all are on, or PC or Mac.
I got Mac.
Yeah, I got a Mac too.
Oh, sweet. That makes things so much easier, and you got a Mac. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Let me stop sharing here, and we can discuss a couple other things, because the 3 of you are going to be on the same